What's up, everybody? On today's video, we're going to talk about luxury apartments and are they a ripoff? You may have seen these fancy new apartments that pop up behind business centers and near restaurants, and you may have wondered, are these luxury apartments a ripoff, or is there really any value to living in a quote-unquote luxury apartment? That's what today's video is going to be about. Are these apartments a ripoff, or can you actually get a sweet deal on affordable luxury living? Living in these luxury apartments resembles living in a resort or a fancy hotel. These things pop up everywhere. A lot of people can't afford a brand new house. The cost of these apartments is usually a few $100s more than conventional housing. In my case, the difference was a few $100s. In some places, it could be up to $1,000 difference with the amenities of resorts and hotels. So when I moved to a luxury apartment, my internet speed was insanely fast. My internet was also included in my monthly payment. The hardware related to the internet was no longer my responsibility. Includes a gym. It also includes a pool, but it's not just a small pool, it's like gigantic. I was spending between $60 to $100 a month in car washes. My luxury apartment complex comes with a built-in car wash. I don't have any pets, but if I did, there is a pet washing station as well. It looks like an MRI machine, but it's for dogs. When I lived in Lehigh Acres, it would take us at least 45 minutes to get to a Publix. Where I live now, I can literally walk to one Publix, and if something were to happen to that Publix, the next one is about 3 minutes away because they build these luxury apartments in areas that have absolutely everything. Restaurants, Starbucks, Panera, dental care, another gym, eyeglasses, bicycle shops, anything that you need for your suburban life is going to usually be within walking distance of your luxury apartments, which means you literally do not need another car or a car at all. I don't need two cars. If my car were to be in the shop or something were to happen to it, I can walk to every basic necessity that I need. We all know that time is money. If we suddenly ran out of dish soap, it would be like a 35 to 40 minute ordeal to go get it. Now, where we live, if we were to run out of dish soap, I could literally walk across the street and get it. Again, I can also walk at midnight to the gas station if I decide that I want a Gatorade at 2 in the morning. And of course, absolutely insane internet speed. I remember when I lived in the Fort Myers area that I would literally have to drive all the way to North Fort Myers, about a 45-minute drive each way, to go stand underneath a radio tower to get enough signal to get my videos off. Your internet has to be fast for your work. When we lived in Lehigh Acres, there was months where we threw out $180 worth of food. We had to buy our groceries in bulk, and a lot of times that meant that stuff would get thrown away because it went bad if you couldn't use it, but it would take so long to get to the convenience stores that we didn't really have a choice. We had to buy our groceries in bulk. Since we've been in our luxury apartment, we've only had to throw stuff out before leaving on a road trip. Being able to do our grocery shopping on a daily basis versus a weekly basis means that we were able to save hundreds of dollars every single month. Those are the types of conveniences that living in a luxury apartment can give you. Some people may need to be in the middle of a city, and for those people as well, they'll pop up these luxury apartments right in the middle of the city. I noticed in downtown Sarasota, they're building luxury apartments right in the middle of downtown. I would assume if you're running around doing business, going to title companies or signing contracts, being in the center of the city right across from the courthouse could be a huge benefit. So these luxury apartments, the fact that they're commercial real estate and they're usually located in very good places because of the nature of them, means that there's a lot of conveniences to renting a luxury apartment. If you look at the lease agreements, contracts, rules, and regulations, there's usually a lot that goes into a luxury apartment. It's not like renting a duplex in Lehigh Acres where you can do whatever the crap you want. There's rules for trash pickup. There's rules for when you can make noise. There's rules on where you can park your bicycle, where you can park your car. Everything is regulated much more than a regular apartment complex. A lot of people don't like those rules. I have found that those rules make living here incredibly easy. When you live in a luxury apartment complex, if you have a problem, you just walk downstairs and tell the person at the front desk, hey, this is going on, or you send them an email and they take care of it. You should look to the reviews and make sure that your luxury apartment actually has luxury service. In the case of our apartment, when we have had a maintenance concern, they are here right away. When we were renting private party, getting things fixed was whenever they could get around to it, if they could find somebody when they were available. It's a person that comes into my apartment to do all the maintenance. It's the person that I see every single day outside, so I know who it is. And usually you're not going to have to worry about them coming into your apartment if they have a scheduled repair or maintenance and you're not around. In my years of paid off home ownership, I cannot think of a single year that I did not spend $25,000 in repairs. If it wasn't remodeling the kitchen, $7,000, remodeling a bathroom, $7,000, $10,000 in structural repairs, $7,000 for a new roof. There's a huge cost associated with home ownership as well. There's a case right now out of Naples, Florida. Somebody's trying to sell their house. The neighbor next door put up a sign saying, if anybody buys this house, I'm going to sue them. The house can't sell. Let me tell you something. I have a 1-year lease that when it expires, I'm free to go. If you buy a house in a bad neighborhood and your neighbors decide that they don't want you to sell your house, please believe you're going to be stuck in that house a lot longer than you wish you were. So it's not like home ownership doesn't come with its hurdles. But one of the best things about luxury apartments is the type of people that rent these things are usually very low-key people. There's no pride involved in renting, so nobody's really pushing their ego or flaunting their neighborhood HOA power. So if there's a problem, the people at the front desk litigate that for you. And it's not like you're going to have a problem because the people at the front desk are going to evict you. I've seen homeowners next door make your life miserable for decades. I'm not sure how much hassle it would take to get evicted, but I'm pretty sure that nobody in this apartment building really wants to find out. I dealt with neighbors that were complete imbeciles, endless nightmare of neighbors. But here, where we're all renters and people have lease agreements and credit scores and stuff like that, nobody's really looking to find out how far you can push your envelope before you get evicted. Everything is like super safe, much safer than a regular dwelling or a regular apartment. There's a lot of liability, and new construction, especially here in South Florida, is going to have to be up to all types of safety standards. You would just have to weigh your options and compare the cost of conventional housing versus the convenience of having everything centrally located in one place. But if that luxury apartment complex includes your water, your internet, and a bunch of other amenities that you're already paying for, there may be a huge incentive for you to take up the convenience of having everything you need at your footstep. I also see a lot of people that move out of my apartment complex, and when they move out, they were able to prove to a bank that they can pay a hefty monthly payment, and that helped them guarantee a mortgage. While renting affordable housing may leave you in a never-ending rental, getting into a luxury apartment can help build your credit and prepare you for a better future. So if you compare the cost of luxury apartments to housing in your area, and you're going to be able to reduce your overall time spent commuting, that's also less oil changes, less liability, less chances of you running into a car accident or being attacked by a Florida man out in traffic. Those conveniences of living in a luxury apartment may actually make your life more convenient, easier, and may actually be worth the extra costs. Take my lifestyle, for example. Sometimes we are on the road for 10 and 15 days. When I am home, I want the Publix across the street, the Starbucks nearby, the gas station close, the car wash right in my parking lot where I live, a pool to relax in, and not to have to go anywhere for a few days. A few days ago, I ventured into a housing complex that's all homeowners, not too far from where I live. I had a guy in a golf cart come up, ask me where I live, what I was doing, blah, 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 blah. Clearly, he was concerned about who I was, why I was in their community, asking me questions like where I lived, what I did for a living, all of those uncomfortable questions that are absolutely none of his business. That is how homeowners act. Asking you all types of questions. How much does your bicycle cost? Where you coming from? Where you going to? Why you're around here? Because they're absolutely paranoid over their properties. One of the most beautiful things about living in these apartments is nobody here gives a crap how you make a living, where you're going to, what you're doing. It's just nobody gives a crap, and that is beautiful. And I've noticed when I've lived in an area where everybody's a homeowner, you got people like that want to know everything you're up to. I didn't ask him how he paid for his golf cart. I didn't ask him where he was going, what he was doing, but he had an onslaught of questions simply because I was riding my bicycle near his community. So if you're tired of dealing with crap like that, move to one of these apartment complexes where they screen everybody. There's no criminals in these apartments. You can't move in here if you have a criminal record. You have a minimum amount of income you have to make, which is usually 3 times the rent. So you figure if you're paying $3,000 a month for rent, then 3 times that means everybody in that complex should be making about at least $9,000 a month. And they have to prove it with their bank statements before they move in. So there's nothing fishy going on, allegedly, right? But there's nothing more uncomfortable than public pocket watchers. And when you live in an area where people are homeowners, you get a lot of that. One of the most beautiful things about these luxury apartments is we kind of all understand that if you live here, you make a good deal of money. A lot of times the people that live in these apartments are police officers, doctors, and other people who make good money, but they live a very fast lifestyle. But this is my first time living in this type of arrangement, and it does seem like one of the greatest benefits of living in a place like this is not having to deal with the pocket watchers.